Hello, my name is Arun Sheikh, and my topic is how do greenhouse gases affect people in regions around the world. I skimmed my whole project down, so some of the pictures will not make sense. Also, the coded parts are the parts that I am reading. Why am I doing this problem? I think that people only talk about how global warming would affect Canada, the USA, and other well-known countries. We must realize that countries like Mali or Taiwan will also be affected. For example, who knew that Sao Tome and Principe would get flooded by sea level rise? What I want to do is raise awareness of other third world countries, but I'm still going to research well-known countries. Now let's do how do greenhouse gas affect people in North America. This is the map of North America. In North America, there are three regions and 23 countries. In the US, extreme heat causes more deaths than other extreme disasters. In Canada, has increased by 1.1 degrees Celsius since 1880. In northern Canada, temperature has increased by 2.3 degrees Celsius between 1940 and 2016. This is the map. This is a picture of the causes of death in the USA, and we're only looking at the orange. The majority of the climate change impacts water because now in the Caribbean, the average temperature is rising and go to 35 degrees Celsius plus. Also, now with the increase in precipitation, more often floods and droughts. Also, and more intense weather. The leaders in Trinidad and Tobago believe that oil and gas production is vital for the country, but Imtiaz Khan said that the rains of his childhood were peaceful and light. Mr. Khan said that the rains are more regular and there serious flooding every year. Also said by Mr. Khan is that clams, oysters, and many species of fish are in decline. Fish go where there is more food and where they can reproduce. Mr. Khan said that's not here anymore. This was said in an article posted on May 15th, 2023. The biggest weather threats to Costa Rica are tropical and subtropical weather storms. Climate has increased the chances of intense extreme weather events like storms, floods, and droughts. For Panama, this is bad because it will affect the lives of the poorest people of Panama and and Central America. Now let's do how does greenhouse gas affect people in South America? This is the map of South America. In South America, there are 12 countries and only one region. In South America, more than 99% of our world's tropicals and 71% of the tropical glaciers are in Peru. These glaciers are crucial to Peru's water supply. Now it's unavoidable that glaciers that are melting will affect the lives of the water-poor country because even more water supplies are going to be taken away from the people. This is a picture of the Quilcea Glacier and it's melting. Now let's go to how do greenhouse gas affect people in Europe. This is the map of Europe. In Europe, there are 47 countries. Greenland isn't so green because of its ice and snow, but since greenhouse gases are a thing, the ice is melting. Did you know that the Arctic is getting warmer way faster because of climate change? In Eastern Europe, it affects them with an increase in precipitation, longer winters, and fewer summers. Greenhouse gases affect the Dutch because now the Netherlands is experiencing an increase in droughts, and when it rains, it is severe. So precipitation is a bad thing for the Netherlands, but they need it. It has already affected the Netherlands with the extreme droughts of 2018 and 2019, and when the Netherlands finally got rain, it caused flooding because it was so extreme. In southern Europe, the second largest country, Italy, would have some problems that could impact Italy in a lot of ways: heat wave, droughts, fires, brutal storms, and floods. While in Spain, it could affect people with higher temperatures and average sea level rise and less water. This is a picture of how many tons of durum and sulfate were produced throughout the years in Italy. In Southeast Europe, one of the countries, Bosnia and Herzegovina, would have temperature increases and more extreme weather. Now let's go to how do greenhouse gas affect people in Africa. This is the map of Africa. In Africa, there are 54 countries and 5 regions. The annual temperature in Morocco has increased. One problem with this is the heat waves. Morocco is already a hot country, but climate change will make Morocco way hotter. In West Africa, greenhouse gases are already affecting people's agriculture and coastal economic activities. The World Bank has identified rising sea levels, which could flood entire cities. This is the picture of the floods of Libya, September 10th and September 11th. In Middle Africa, greenhouse gases affect people because people are already using way too much water, so climate change could change lives. The problem with Sao Tome and Principe is that it will sink because of climate change. In East Africa, greenhouse gases could potentially affect people by the increase in intensity and precipitation. In this is a picture of the Kenya GDP per capita throughout the years. In South Africa has become a big problem. Now it cannot be ignored. The annual temperature has doubled zero point 0.7 degrees Celsius. Hot and cold extremes have increased. Now rainfall is getting intense and it'll affect everyone. Now let's go to our last continents. How do greenhouse gases affect people in Asia? This is the map of Asia. Woohoo! How do greenhouse gases affect people in Oceania? This is the map of Oceania. In Asia, there are 49 countries. Northern Asia has only one country, and that is Russia. Russia will have the impact of the increase in droughts, bad precipitation, floods, and fires. This could affect the people through house damage and isolation. In West Asia, one big effect that has already happened is they have problems with water resource, which is a big problem for West Asia because West Asia is a dry region. Amount of desalination water used in regions/continents. Japan, an island country in East Asia, already has big problems like a rise in sea level and tsunamis. Now the increase in temperature with water evaporating makes Japan not a safe country. The Koreas have problems with the amount of rain. If greenhouse gas emissions increase without anyone stopping by 2071 to 2100, the average precipitation will increase by 172.5 millimeters. In Central Asia, they are having hotter days with more droughts, floods, heat waves, and forest fires. South and Southeastern Asia are some of the most impacted by greenhouse gases, which include intense heat waves, cyclones, droughts, and floods, making the government make lots of changes. Now let's go to Oceania. Oceania is only one region and 14 countries. Since Oceania is an island region, the rise in sea level is a big problem for mostly for countries that are third world. Now the most important part, the conclusion. Subsequently, after 3.5 months of research, I've come to a conclusion. Since every single region is on one planet, the effects are actually similar. I first thought that since Southeast Asia and the Caribbean are in two different areas, they would have lots of different effects. But the reality is, we live on such a small world. The effects that every region faced were droughts, heat waves, extreme weather, rain that was really dangerous, and climate change. One thing that I think that we can all reflect on is that there is no escaping. Every region has or will be affected, so it's our human job to try to save the world before it gets messed up. If you read all of my research, there is one thing for sure that could save Earth. It's getting rid of greenhouse gases. Even the USA, a country which has good doctors and nurses, can't save the 1,300 people dying because of heat waves every single year. But the USA can't do anything because greenhouse gases have become an essential thing in the USA and around the world. But the consequences are not noticed.